Okay, all of you, good afternoon. Online, am I audible to all of you? Harshita, Swaroop, Tanisha, Komal, Mohit, Arya, yes, okay. Streaming fine. So all of you, good afternoon. Hi, Shrishti. Okay. So in our cycle of classes, one cycle has got over yesterday, and we start off with a new cycle, and this cycle starts with population geography. So the courses that we have, they kind of run like a relay. Okay, there are 2-3 entry points from where we start the course. So this is the next cycle in our course alignment, and we start off with population geography. Okay, that's the topic. So all the newcomers, welcome. We had one small session yesterday for the newcomers separately. I explained some things to them. Many of you were not there. So for the benefit for all of you, including the old students, let me give you an orientation for 5-10 minutes. Hi Arshita, yes, welcome. There are quite a few new of you here. So let's start off now. So the orientation that I'm talking about, those who are starting your cycle with me, some of you have begun right from October end, plus we had some of you joining us from November. We had the initiation classes. I introduced this last year because we realized a lot of geography is around maps. But unfortunately, the type of syllabus we have, it does not tell us much about the maps. It's assumed that you know the concepts on maps. You know the places. But sabka hota nahi hai. So we spend about 20-25 odd classes on the world map, on India map. Some of you have not been part of it. Some of you directly start the classes. It's perfectly fine, no problem. So anyways, we have begun with you here. And my recommendation is, those who have begun from October, November, and now we're starting off from December 15th. I'm actually late by almost a week, 10 days for this session. I'm assuming you guys mostly are for 2025. The rest who began with me maybe from June onwards, okay, who began June, July onwards, many of you are for 24. Okay, so you are right now clubbed together. And the approach for both of you will be different. So there are 3 parts to your study. Your study has 3 parts. One is the class. Okay. Then there is post-class. And we also have certain pre-class work. Okay. Now, class is common for all of you. Whether you are 24 attempt students or 25 attempt students, this foundation class आपके सबके लिए common होगा. And the post-class activities also, there are certain common activities, plus the 2024 prelim students, you'll have another set of activities. Okay, we'll let you know what is that. And the pre-class, generally we start at 11:30 onwards. Almost every day hai, bearing on some days, online and offline. The pre-class, we are trying to introduce a concept called as case studies. Okay, so the regular students are not yet a part of this. Okay, we have begun almost a month or two now. We have done this case studies thing. Now onwards, I would want you all to be part of this. Case studies essentially are discussions on specifics with examples, with data. There are maps to be drawn in that. Programs are discussed. Half an hour, 15 minute ka hota hai, which is taken up by Ajay Sir. He will be one of your key mentors for the geography. I want you to walk in earlier. Come at 11:30, start the process, build up your momentum, clarify your doubts if you have any. Then the actual class starts. And all of you, ये हमने कभी पहले किया नहीं था as part of a schedule, but I am starting off from today onwards. Once the class gets over, unless you have a class to attend to, some of you are going for GS or whatever, unless you have a class, I'll suggest you all stay back in the classroom itself. I'll suggest not even a break if possible. And whatever I teach in the class, you will convert that into your synopsis and summary. Your class does not get over till you have done this and you submit this on our platform. It's almost more than maybe 2 years maybe since I began with Edukemy. Synopsis thing I have been talking about. We encourage it, we teach you the concepts, we teach you how to do it, but realize कि आप लोग करते नहीं हैं. And you guys struggle when the actual test series start. You struggle exam के पहले, there's a lot of heartburn, restlessness. I was operating from an assumption that once I teach you a technique, and I have done it a couple of times, I presume you will do it on your own. But I think I have become wiser now, okay, that ये नहीं होता है. And the immediate, I think, temptation is to move on to a new subject, to move on to a new class. Okay, break के नाम में you move on and you break your momentum, which now onwards I want should not happen anymore. So अब आपके पास you have got an excuse to say कि सर टाइम नहीं हुआ. Okay, अब आप क्लास में बैठोगे, हमारे साथ ही बैठेंगे. On some days I will sit, on some days Ajay or Uttam or Devinder, one of us will sit here and we'll try to ensure you do it with us. You don't do it, that's your call. I can't, for that matter, I can't even force you to come to class also. Okay, you have taken admissions, आप आए, नहीं आए, that's your choice, but I want to believe that all of you ultimately are willing to work. Okay, I discussed that in some classes before and yesterday also. The assumption I have about all of you is, आप काम करना चाहते हैं, you are rightly intentioned, you have the right type of determination. What is missing is a study environment maybe. Because otherwise, why would you run and take those seats in the reading rooms? I find reading rooms have mushroomed and kind of exploded in ORN. Okay. Why? Because शायद आप room में पढ़ नहीं पाते हो. You're looking for a place where some others are studying. Okay. So my invitation to all of you is, आप यहीं आके पढ़ाई करो. Okay. Give me 1 hour more than your class that I'm giving you. And I'm not charging you for it. It's free of cost by that standards. Come and sit here. Okay. Winter days हैं, so you are huddled in a room, it will be warm. जब summers होगा, we'll put on the ACs, it's cool. You're with your friends, okay, you are working with the people you know, and we are there mentoring. So यहाँ वहाँ नहीं जाके यहीं पढ़ाई करो. And the idea of भूख लग रही है, lunch है, ये सब set हो जाता है. Okay, I'll suggest, if you can go, bring your lunch here and eat your lunch here also, no issues. But stay with us, stick with us. Okay, so I'm trying to force this down on you now as a culture and a habit. Okay, और ये भी I started off, I didn't announce it as loudly because मेरे भी डर होता है कि when I start something, I want to maintain it. Before I announce it, I said, let's do it for 2, 3, 4 weeks and see. But I find now Ajay is doing it, and he has also involving you. Though I find students who come in are 30, 40, 20 of you. Okay, but effectively, your session starts with us at 11:30 and goes on up till whatever you want. 3:30 or 4 o'clock. The class you paid for is from 12 to 2. Okay, but I mean, you should be happy that you're getting more than what you had paid for. Okay, the only thing you can accuse me and Edukemy is for, yeah, you लोग ना बहुत पढ़ा देते हैं. Okay, and that's a compliment for me. The more you say that, I'm perfectly fine with it. And let's build this up. इसमें धीरे धीरे I'll add something more also. It's like a project for me that I am part of a journey where you guys qualify. Don't come कि course खत्म करा दो. Course खत्म कराना is, I think, not the main objective. ठीक है? Tanisha, doubts हैं नहीं हैं, सब clear होगा यार. Like, don't worry, I'm there. You can ask your doubts. Most of your doubts get clarified when you go back and read again. अब दोबारा पढ़ेंगे सारा clear हो जाएगा. नहीं होगा तो we are there. Okay. No teacher, remember, no teacher worth his salt and worth his name will ever say no to clearing your doubts. The only problem is, maybe there is some other class which we have to attend to. Maybe the problem is you can't connect with us because I'm doing some other work. Okay, and sometimes we need time to clarify your doubts because sometimes even I don't have the answer. As simple as that. Okay, don't worry, Tanisha. A genuine doubt, and even if you think it's a stupid doubt, please reach out. Let us declare that this is not the right question to ask right now. Okay, इसके लिए परेशान नहीं होते. Okay, so you know you are assured of when I'm doing all of this, you think I will not take your call on doubts. Okay, that's perfectly fine. You are welcome to ask your questions. Okay, so that's one. The second very important thing I want to emphasize is those who are starting with me or who began with me in the October month and December month शुरू कर रहे हैं, please approach the examination like a mission thing. Approach the examination कि 2024 में 25 में, okay, you will clear and get a rank. 1.5 years is a very good time to target a rank. Okay, if you target a rank, दो चीज होगा, या either your rank is not good or you'll at least hit the interview level. Okay, when you target a rank, then you no longer are concerned about कि prelims होगा कि नहीं. It's like, you know, it's an old saying, it says that when some things bothers you, some things troubles you, one solution is look for a bigger problem. When you have a bigger problem, the smaller problems take care of themselves. Okay, so prelims clear should not be a concern. Oh, होना ही होना है. The bigger concern is, यार rank अच्छा लेके आना है. I hope you got the point here. So let's target that approach. And those of you who joined me in the month of July, June also, you're giving a prelims, and I am insisting on this. If giving a prelims, then target की आपको clear करना है. Not that कि attempt लेके देखते हैं, ये देखने वाली चीज है ही नहीं. Okay, work on that premise. Now, I mean, some months ago I shared with all of you and discussed also. There was one writing in Times of India. It's from some discourse on Ramayana, in which the author, I forget his name now, he has written a ballad, a type of a poem, and the poem ka theme was Hanumanji. Okay, you see him, imagine him with essentially something like a dhoti, right? Loin cloth, dhoti, a lungi type. I mean, back then that was the dress probably. But nowhere do you find Hanumanji, okay, concerned about or talking about कि lungi khul jayega. Okay, and he is all over, right? Jumping across mountains, carrying Sanjeevani, fighting the war for Shri Ram. He is doing a lot of things there. But pure stories mein, pure ye article I shared, Abhinash, yes, everywhere you never find any mention of how does Hanumanji hold his lungi. Okay, the summary of that write-up was holding the lungi is a very trivial thing when you are fighting a war as big as against Ravan. Okay, holding the lungi is a very trivial thing compared to saving lives of Lakshmanji, Sanjeevani and the rest. So the conclusion is that these small things will take care of themselves if your visions are bigger. These small things will not impact your progress, your work, if the vision is bigger. So हमारे लिए अभी से this is our vision. Mission 25. For some of you it is Mission 24. So be it. Okay. And one of my favorite phrases you'll hear me use very often is do what it takes. Do what it takes. Okay. You must have that passion. You must have that drive. वो जुनून होना चाहिए. That commitment होना चाहिए that we will do whatever it takes. You will give your efforts. I said no. A success or a failure can depend on many things. What is in our control is the efforts. आप efforts अपना ठीक से करें, and you will not find me backing out of the commitments we make. Yes, we are not perfect there. We can have glitches. We can have some sessions getting rescheduled. But most in the class know how I sit with you guys. We have revision sessions. We have got long. A concept I am trying to emphasize on is the method of marathon studies. Marathon studies where you sit at a stretch. I am not a firm believer of studying in small nuggets. एक टेक्निक है नेट में आप देखना, एक प्रोमोडोरो टेक्निक है. Okay, I don't know what is the philosophy of this. I find this absolutely useless. They talk about study for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, take 5 minutes break, again 20 minutes, take 5 minutes break. तो पूरा पढ़ाई में आपसे घड़ी देख रहे होते हो. Okay, half an hour हो गया, okay, I want 5 minutes break. The break भी लेकर हो, time देख रहे हो. Okay, I find it absurd, totally useless method. My say evaluation. I feel you enter the process, you will have distraction for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, and when the momentum is on, then don't leave it. Okay, and the momentum on करने के लिए you require sometimes half an hour, 1 hour also. How long will I study? The question. I suggest study as long as you can study and you want to study. Okay, which should not be less than 2-3 hours. If you get up from the seat in half an hour, the momentum is gone. If you get up from the seat in 1 hour, the momentum is gone. So बैठो एक साथ and marathon and wholesome studies. Okay, so if you are sitting with polity today, do polity for 5 hours. Okay, do polity for 2-3 days. History for 6-7 hours. For 4-5-6 days. It is then that the subject starts getting and growing onto you. ये school में ठीक था. Half an hour, because the content was less. This is not a degree certificate I am giving you. This requires lot of work in 6-7 months, in 1 year. So I am a firm believer of this. Okay, you may challenge me, you may find flaws, but I think I believe in it because this is what has worked for me. And every topper I have talked to, every topper, okay, every person who has qualified and done something with his academic career, every person without fail has talked about, sir, पढ़ाई तो continuous होनी चाहिए. Till you are exhausted, drained, okay, you are sleepy, अब नहीं चल रहा है, then you probably stop for the day. Otherwise, go on. You're tired, I said, push yourself half an hour more. But you will develop a stamina dhire dhire. Initially, maybe 2 hours, then it grows to 3 hours, it grows to 5 hours. Okay, you'll build it up. So I'm a firm believer of that. And I do this marathon weekly, once, twice. We'll do that. We'll see how we'll do it. So this probably is part of those marathon sessions we're talking about. The pre-class, the post-class thing. You come and sit with us, park yourself with us, and let's get on. Okay? So this was initiating all of you into this. And I am also a firm believer of, you can always reorient yourself very fast. Okay? Kal tak jo hua theek hai, gone. Kal tak whatever has challenged you is gone. Today is a new day, a new beginning. Let's start off. Okay? Kal tak nahi kar paaye the, aaj koshish karte hain. आज नहीं हो पाया, कल कोशिश करेंगे. Any day you start off. And I also believe ये जो hard work है ना, hard work is something that grows on you. धीरे धीरे you will acquire it. And when I began my this small incident I'm sharing with you, when I began my teaching career, still young then, just out of my attempts, bit of frustration bhi tha, bit of anger bhi tha, and fortunately for some things, some students recommended me, some teachers supported me. I'm the product of lot of people who have helped me in their lives. I got into a very good institute, and the best I could have thought about back then, and I happened to meet the director. Okay, he's still my mentor. I talk to him even now. And ऐसी बात करते करते he asked me, Shabbir, what is your strength? And what is your strength? You know, brash. When we're young, we are brash. We say a lot of things. We don't realize we are talking nonsense. Okay, but we think we are the wisest people. And here was a man who is sitting there, who has taught 30, 40 years of his life. And I told him, sir, my strength is, sir, I work very smart. Said, Acha, what is smart work? I gave him some gyan. He listened to me very carefully. Said, okay, fine, my wishes to you. Please do your smart work the way you think you can do it, and we'll support you whatever you can support you. And he left me, and I came out, wow, I have impressed him types, okay? And then my work began, whatever way it began. I struggled, I fought, whatever. It took me a while. Okay, before I got some reputation worth my efforts, it took me a while. का मतलब है मुझे 6-7 साल लग गया. Okay. Though when I began the process of preparation also, the arrogance I had was, यार एक attempt दूंगा. Okay. It was like it was written for me. वो एक attempt दूंगा became 4 attempts. Okay. When I started teaching, 1 साल लगेगा. Okay. And I will establish myself. That 1 year took me 6-7 years. And then for some reason I sat back and I was thinking through, okay, all my life. And I remembered I told my boss, my director, I will work smart. And then I felt so embarrassed about it. I went back and told him, sir, I remember when I came to you first and you asked me, what is your strength? And I told you I worked smart, and I feel ashamed about it. And you listened to me very patiently without telling me anything. And I realize there's nothing called smart work till you have done the hard work. Now, people who are street smart, you know, what is term street smart, right? ये कौन लोग होते हैं? जो खूब धोखा खा चुके होते हैं. Okay, they are those who have bad experiences. They have learned it the hard way, and then they know, ये नहीं करेंगे, ये करेंगे. ये नहीं करेंगे, ये करेंगे. Okay. And he smiled back. He said, Shabbir, when you said smart work, I actually was amused. Then I was confirmed that you are still learning. But today when you tell me, now I know you have grown up. Now I know you are a mature teacher. Okay. But he said, I had faith in you that you will learn. It was a very big revelation for me. And the same thing I tell my students day in, day out. अब बहुत ज्ञान सुनोगे about smart work smart. Trust me, there is a smart work, but the smart work comes from the dirty work. There is smart work, efficient work. It comes from the dirty grind from which you start learning कि this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. These books are not the helpful ones. These are the smarter ones. ये आप सीखोगे ultimately. So I'm a firm believer of this. You figure out. When you ask me, sir, how to work smart, I say, I do not know. You work hard, 6-7 days, 4-5-6 months, tens and tens of books. फिर आप discover करोगे what is a smart work for you. So the summary is, there is no shortcut that you can take now. अभी तो सब आपका लॉन्ग कट ही है. करते कर समझ जाओगे, oh, this was the shortcut. And the shortest cut is, do your work sincerely every day. That's the shortest cut. And if you ask me, UPSC preparation and becoming IAS or IFS or IPS, okay, and becoming successful, ये अपने आप में shortest cut to success है. You go the hard way, it will take you 30-40 years to get this type of authority and success. Somebody becomes CEO when? Late 40s, 50s में बनते हैं CEO generally. Unless it's your company, your father made it, you become CEO in 20s and 30s. अगर आप खुद बना रहे हो, as a part of a good corporate system, इतने साल लगते हैं, and not everybody becomes. But if you go this way, work for 1 or 2 years, crack it, and you are a CEO of a district. You are CEO of programs. तो इससे shortcut life में हो नहीं सकता. Give yourself 1 to 2 solid years of work. You will beat everybody else you ever thought has gone beyond you. Okay, so with this idea that you are having this mission mode approach for 2025, and please be wise. When I say be wise का मतलब होता है, don't get carried away by all the gyan concepts you will get around you. You must know what works for you. You find out what are your strengths. You start believing in what is true good work and efforts. You discover who you want to be mentored by and start working accordingly. This examination fundamentally is a self-study examination. Nobody can teach you how to become IAS. I can put the building blocks for you. I can suggest that this is the path maybe for you. Ultimately, it is self-study. Marathons में हम नहीं पढ़ा रहे होते हैं, आप पढ़ाई करोगे. I will sit you and facilitate the process for all of you. ठीक है? So I want to start at that high. I want to start with that intention. Okay? And we are there. Whatever it takes, whatever we must do, we will do. You won't find me backing out because I am insincere. Okay? And we will plow along, work along, and let's see what happens. Take all of you? Fine. So let's start off now. The topic I'm beginning with is population geography. Population theme. Yeah, you're welcome. Avika? Yes, you are right. I am a passionate man. Okay, and that's how I have worked. I would like you to also work with your passion in mind. Okay. Now, population theme is in paper 1. It's also in paper 2. In paper 2, it's called as cultural geography. Okay. And the topics of population in paper 1 are spread across 3 units. You have some topics of population in geographical thought unit. You have some topics in population geography. You have some topics in models and theories in human geography. ये 3 टॉपिक में ये distributed है. Okay. I will teach you like a theme and I'll tell you what topic I'm teaching from what unit where. I'll integrate it for you. Okay, so there is, okay, for some of you starting off, paper 1 has 10 units or 10 modules, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, environment geography, geographical thought, economic geography, population geography, planning geography, and something else. Okay, so population is in geographical thought, population is in population geography, and also in models and theories, plus कुछ topics environment वाले में भी है. ठीक है? It is distributed, but leave it to me to organize this. So population geography as a theme I will teach you. I will not teach every topic separately. What is combined, I'll teach them together. So paper 1 geographical thought, paper 2 population, and paper 1 population, and paper 1 models and theories. Acha, some of you are new here. You will see a lot of work of art here. Okay, work of art where it looks like an abstract painting. Okay, and I have perfected this over years. Okay, you will learn to decipher it, don't worry. Okay, so when I write G, I mean geography, this geographical thought, population, I'll show that to you. Yes, Prasanna, you're right. Some of you are smart now, others will grow up. And in paper 2, the topics are in cultural geography, which essentially is population and other aspects of population. That's how I'll teach you. Now, the book I'm recommending, yes, please start writing this. I mean, I am expecting you'll note this down. I will not dictate everything to you, okay? I will keep speaking, you keep noting the points down. This is the scope of the syllabus. I'll show that to you again. Okay. The books recommended, one is Human Geography by Majid Hussain. This is an important reference you have to buy. You can buy edition 5 or you can buy edition 6. Both are almost same. I follow this book, edition 5. The page numbers are a bit different. I'll let you know the page number kya hai. Yeah. So I am following this 5th edition. Yahan likha hua hai. The 6th also is there. It's as good. No issues. Okay. This is one book. The second book is Indian Geography by D.R. Khuller. The population of India, you'll refer from this. Indian Geography Khuller. The third book is Models in Human Geography by, again, Majid Hussain. These 3 books are must-buys. Okay? If you have not bought it, buy the latest one. Agar ek aad edition purana hai, doesn't matter. Like this book, you can buy an old edition also. तो खरीद लो, नया खरीदो. If you have an older one, you can keep it, no worries. The pages will be different, but the content has not changed much. These 3 books are must buy. Plus, I recommend, for the purpose of some references, you also keep Geography Made Simple series by Arupa Publication. This has 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2. Right now, you need volume 2. Okay. So, ये 4 book आपके पास होने चाहिए. These are must. This you may buy, but my recommendation is buy it. Okay. You always require some references as you study more, as you read more. You need to have 3 or 4 books to look into. Yes, Nikita, I don't remember the color that they have now. Any edition will do, doesn't matter. Iska color change nahi hua hai. The same cover page, right from when I am reading. I am reading from early or mid 1990s onwards. The same book is then a very, very good book. I mean, in terms of language, in terms of coverage, the entire geography you can think of is captured in these 2 volumes. Brilliant writing. Amazing, okay, the way they have compressed it. Okay. Yes, volume 1 is physical geography. Landforms hai, climate hai, environment hai, soils hai. It's a good book. Again, buy both the books. Now let me clarify that. Except for NCRTs, okay, no other book should be read cover to cover. NCRTs, I say, every line is important. Every word, every page NCRT is important. It's a book written brilliantly. Amazing research they have done. I can swear by this. I read it even now. Okay. So, ye kitab for all subjects, do it sincerely. But any other book, means Khuller hai, Maid Hussain hai. You talk about the books like Made Simple Part 1, Volume 2 and 1, both of them. You have to be very selective. And this is where I will come in. I'll let you know what page to read, what paragraph to read, which line to underline. I'll guide you on that. Once in a week, once in 10 days, maybe end of the module, I'll let you know what all you will refer to. So, ye kitab rakh lo, okay, and I will tell you when to start reading. And in your class notes, you also will note down the pages I tell you. Ye page refer karna hai. So, you'll understand. Some of you know it, you are part of the classes now. Others, see, is asking me, sir, are books necessary? My answer is 200%. Like, notes are never enough. Any teacher, anybody telling you notes are enough, I think it's being too ambitious. Notes cannot be enough. Without a book reading, you will never have appreciation. Without a book reading, you will never have a sense of control. Book to padhna hi padega. Maybe 6-7 years ago or 10 years ago, okay, notes seemed enough. But otherwise, in today's time, the type of questions asked, the type of issues taken up, books cannot be dispensed with. For every subject, you must have 1 or 2 reference books. For geography, I recommend 8 to 10 books. All of you have the list with you. So please buy it. You have got time for it, but buy it. Books are important. Okay. So let me now familiarize you with your syllabus. I will want that all of you back in your room, if possible today itself, go back and have a look at the syllabus. Okay. So this is your population geography. Okay. So paper 1, section B, unit 3. You all should have a copy of a syllabus. We'll share it on your Telegram groups. Take a printout and keep the syllabus in your book, in your bag itself. Soumya, what's your question? Yes, Soumya. Yes, Radhika has answered it, but you wanted to hear from me. Okay, so yes, Radhika is right. The same book you're talking about. Market may ask for, okay, Made Simple series volume 2, you get it. Okay, so this is the population geography syllabus. Population and settlements are together. The first half is population geography. It reads growth and distribution of world population, demographic attribute, causes and consequences of migrations, concepts of over, under and optimum population, population theories, population problems and policies, social well-being, quality of life, population as social capital. This is unit, population unit. You've got some topics in the last unit, models and theories in human geography, which has Malthusian theory, Marxian theory and demographic transition theory of population growth. ये दो है आपका. Plus, as a part of geographical thought, which is unit 6 or first of second section, your topics like languages, religion, cultural regions, human development index. These are also related to human population geography. Environment, मैंने कहा था, a topic called as man, ecology, something around human ecological adaptations. These topics are related to population. Okay, this in paper 2, you have unit 8. Okay, paper 2 में cultural setting, historical perspective of Indian society, racial, linguistic, ethnic diversities, religious minorities, tribes, growth, distribution, and so on. So these are the units I will take up at the same time. Okay, so just getting familiar on this. Come back to our discussion. So I have to build this topic for all of you. Anuba, आपने शुरुआत ही किया है डिफेंसिव में. Okay, long है, short है, we'll see that. Okay, I'm at the same time teaching you almost 2.5 units. Okay, please be with me here. Okay. Now, if you look at geography, okay, your class formally starts now in population geography. You will keep writing as I speak, and if I need to write something verbatim, I'll dictate it. But don't wait for me to say, start writing. आप लिखना शुरू करेंगे as I'm speaking. Okay. So, geography as a subject essentially is the study of man, environment, relationship. Okay. And when I say man, I mean aspects of his population, aspects of social diversity, aspects related to population problems, and aspects related to population development. Okay, so man के बहुत सारे dimensions हैं. Okay, so right now I'm discussing, when I say man, how does man interact with environment and with what consequences? Consequences are I cut trees. Consequences are I have agriculture farming. Consequences are I cause pollution. Consequences are I end up having villages, urban areas, infrastructure. Okay, so man-environment relationship and the consequences is what we study. Now, this man-environment relationship का एक important determinant है the people who we are. Okay, the population who we are. And our population in terms of what? In terms of our numbers, in terms of how we grow, in terms of where we live, okay, and the social diversity. language diversity, racial diversity, religious diversity, okay, our cultural diversity. So when I say geography is the study of man, environment, relationship, and the consequences. Under man, these are the components of population of human society. Okay? So population is how many of us are there. Population in terms of how are we growing, in terms of where we live, in terms of what we do. And all of this linked to social diversity, all of this linked to what are our problems as population. Poverty is a problem, conflicts are a problem, migrations can be challenges, there are problems related to age composition, young people hain, old people hain, women hain, okay. Plus, how can we develop? Our development in terms of economic growth, social parameters, education, okay. So this we say is what is the scope of population geography. The scope of population geography is or are these 4, 5, 6 elements. See, I am trying to answer a question, why should geography study population? Many of us have come from a background or assumptions that geography is what? It is landforms, it is climate, it is winds. Some of us know a bit more. Geography is linked to disasters like cyclones and floods and droughts. Population geography, geography mein kyun hai? Why should population be part of the study of geography? So for that I am saying, you must understand what geography does. Geography is the study of earth in terms of how man lives, what man does, how man impacts. Geography is studying earth in terms of man. That's why we say geography is the man-environment relationship. And this relationship is mediated by population also. Who we are, how many of us are there, what we do, where we live, our diversity, our problems, and our aspirations for development. I hope you got the essence here. See, these type of conversations, I doubt if they will become questions in your examination. But this helps you appreciate hum pad bhi kyun rahe hain. Why are we studying population in the first place? Why should geography study industries or geography studies agriculture? Kyun? Because this is the fundamental scope of geography. Man-environment relationship and the consequences associated. Okay? So I hope you have these points, all of you, done. Okay, let's move on now. Now, let me start from the very beginning. Okay, from the very beginning, the origin of man and society. When I say population, oh no, these are not in part of syllabus directly. But you should know these points to appreciate and join the dots together. Okay, so keep with me. The origin of man and human society. Beginnings kahan se hui? Okay, how did man emerge and how did we spread and so on? So if you know a bit of geological time scale, we say that the most recent developments in Earth's evolution, the most recent development in Earth's evolution that impacted the emergence of man and his society begins with the tertiary times. ऐसे देखा जाएगा तो the beginnings of man is linked to the beginnings of earth itself. अगर अर्थ ना होता तो मैन नहीं होता. If Earth did not have atmosphere, we would not have man. If Earth did not have water, I would not have man. If Earth did not have life, I wouldn't have man. That's fine. But I say, if you're talking about the most recent events, the most recent developments in the Earth's evolution that impacted the emergence of man and a society, we say begins with the tertiary times. Why? Because this is when we have the evolution of mammals. I assume you all know what are mammals. There are fishes, there are amphibians, there are reptiles, okay, reptiles like dinosaur, reptiles like crocodile, reptiles like lizards, and there are mammals. Mammals, they give birth to the young ones. Okay, the mother suckles the baby with the milk. Some features of mammals hote hain. So tertiary times, this began around 60-65 million years ago. यहाँ से mammals का origin है. Mammals, the specialized type of life forms we have. So if you look at this history, about 65 million years ago, this is the beginnings of the tertiary times. So some mammals, they start evolving, the mammals. Okay, as they evolve, बहुत variety है. From the mammals, one type of life forms emerge, which are essentially apes. Mammals तो lion भी है, mammal तो tiger भी है, mammals elephants भी हैं, but a special category of life forms emerge called as apes and monkeys. Of course, many of us are still questioning this Darwin's theory, okay, this Darwinian idea. But I think without getting offended by religious ideas, let's accept it. Okay, कि अभी यही है हमारे पास. Okay, as you know more, we'll see what we can do there. So apes and monkeys is where it began. And from this, one type of ape got separated out. We call this ape as the gibbons. Gibbons, if you have seen, they are black and very intelligent. The gibbons are called as lesser apes. They're called as lesser apes. Okay, they got separated और ये अलग type of life form बन गया. From the gibbons, okay, we continue to have some life forms who we call as hominids. We call these as hominids. Hominids say there is one branch that goes out. We call these as the great apes. We call these as the great apes. Great apes are gorillas, chimpanzee, उनके भी 2-3 type हैं. Plus we have one thing like chimpanzee called as orangutans and bonobos. Okay, so we have great apes. Great apes are of different types. They are orangutans, they are gorillas, they are chimpanzees. One type of chimpanzee is smaller and far more intelligent called as bonobo. Bonobo is considered to be closest to man in some ways. Bonobo, orangutans. Okay. The great apes also starts to branch out. एक branch में we have orangutans. Okay. And the rest includes all of these, gorilla, chimpanzee, bonobos. इसी में से एक branch अलग हो गया. Okay. This is the beginnings of man-like apes. I hope you all are drawing this with me. Okay. I don't see any questions on this, but you should know this. Okay? There is a geological time called as tertiary time. The beginnings of mammals. From the mammals, there are a lot of different type of life forms. But one life form I'm concerned about that leads to man is the apes and the monkeys. Apes, monkeys mein one branch goes out called as gibbons. Gibbons are called as lesser apes. Very intelligent, remember this. Okay. But they are not like the rest. And then we have a series of life forms called as hominids. Hominids are apes, including all of this variety. They're called as great apes. Great apes are apes minus gibbons. From the great apes, one branch goes out, I said orangutan. Orangutan. Anybody knows where we find orangutans? They're endangered. Where do we find them? Indonesia, Borneo, correct. We find them in Indonesia. Orangutan in local language means the old man of the trees. They're orange colored, okay, and very, very quiet, gentle. Okay. Yes, Indonesia, Borneo में बहुत हैं, and they are endangered now. Orangutans. Orangutans, okay, Ilawa, there is another group. Okay, this group includes gorillas, it includes chimpanzees, it includes bonobos. In totality, ये सब मिला के, there are about 6-7 types of great apes. And from this, one branch separates out. It separates out, okay, and this branch leads to the evolution of man. And this branch, the species are called as homonins. They're called as homonins. तो ये सारे हो गए hominids. The branch where human beings start evolving, we call that as hominins. Hominins का जो branch out है, it happened approximately, I mean, be okay with approximations here, about 3, 4, maybe 5 million years ago. Okay, so the origin of man happened with hominins. It happened with hominins. And hominins, they separate out from the larger block of hominids. So, gorilla, chimpanzee, bonobo go in one way, the orangutan goes another way, and the hominins, yahan se the man starts. I hope that's fine, all of you. So, come back to your notes. Okay, so the first point here is the beginnings of the human species. The beginnings of the human species starts with the emergence of hominins. Hominins about, I said, 3 to 5 million years ago. 3 to 5 million years ago. Okay, one. Number two, the earliest hominins. Hominins were, many of them were there, but remember two of them. One is a hominin called as Australopithecus. Australopithecus. It is ECUS. Australopithecus और एक है Ramapithecus. Ramapithecus. And we have found fossils of these three in Shivaliks. Shivaliks, parts of the Himalayan mountains. Australopithecus and Ramapithecus They are among the first hominins, and I'm talking about in the range of around 3 million years ago की बात हो रही है. Ramapithecus and Australopithecus. ठीक है? Then I'm giving a series of 4-5 important hominin species. The third. Are you all keeping pace with me? Okay. So keep writing as I speak, as I write down. Be alert. Okay. सब याद नहीं होगा, but सब समझ में आना चाहिए. And the notes must go on. Now, I'm saying that some of the early hominins includes, so one is Homo erectus. It includes Homo habilis. It includes Homo ergaster. Homo ergasters. बहुत सारे हैं, but remember 3-4 of them. Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Homo ergaster. Homo erectus, approximately about, we can say, again, I'm rounding off the numbers, 3 to 2 million years ago. Okay. Homo habilis, ergaster, approximately 2.5 to 1.8 million years ago. Homo habilis, Homo ergaster. Okay. So some of them are still in the trees, they start climbing down. We say Homo ergaster tak, man, the early man as in the early hominin is now okay, walking on the land. Walking had started earlier, but ergaster is entirely on the land walking now. Okay? And this event, this Homo ergaster walking, this event coincides with the spread of tropical, warm and dry climates. By the time we have Homo ergaster, the climate of the earth where this was developing is part of Africa. There is more of tropical conditions which are warm and dry climates. See, as long as there is good rainfall, heavy rainfall hai, lush green forests hai, dense forest hai, it's not possible for the man to start walking on the land. That life form will be more on the trees. Okay? But once the trees are less, the land is more grasslands. So imagine we have dense forests, lot of trees. There are swamps, there are trees. ऐसे case में, the animals on the land will be less. Most of them will be on the trees. Monkeys, apes, birds, insects. अगर swamps हैं, you'll have reptiles. Okay. But once the climate changes to, I have got some trees, an open landscape, another trees here. Okay. So when this happens, the life form must come down now. As long as the life form is here, the life form is more herbivorous. But once this happens, the life form must come down and the life form now becomes more and more carnivorous. Okay. So this type of environment is a wet environment, very, very dense vegetation. Think of Amazon rainforest, Congo rainforest. ऐसे में large mammals on the ground will not be there. Okay. But once it becomes drier, warmer, this is the typical type of grassland landscapes what we also refer to as the savanna in Africa. In Africa, here, whatever life form was on the tree will come down, start walking here, and this life form now becomes more and more carnivorous. This is what happened with the hominin called as Homo ergaster. Is it okay, all of you here? Okay, so I said the emergence of Homo ergaster is coinciding with the spread of tropical warm, dry type of climates. This is similar to the development of savanna landscapes. Savanna landscapes. This happens in parts of Africa. Okay, no, this is still not Homo sapien. Homo sapien comes much later. These are the hominins. Hominins, Australopithecus, Ramapithecus, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Homo ergasters, okay, Neanderthal man. All of them are right now hominins. अभी भी man emerge नहीं हुआ है. और ये कब हो रहा है? I said approximately around, I said 2.5 to 1.8 million years. Approximately उस time में हो रहा है. It becoming drier, warmer. Of course, के बाद we had a period of ice age also, ultimately, but more or less this is how it's evolving. Then around the next one, number 3, number 4, about 4 to 3 lakh years ago, as in 400,000 to 300,000 years ago, we had a very important life form called as the Neanderthal man. Neanderthal man is among the closest to the modern Homo sapiens. We have the Neanderthal man, 4 to 3 lakh years ago. ठीक है निकिता, अभी नो डाउट, चुपचाप ऐसे ही लिखो आप. ओके, कीप राइटिंग हियर, नो द नेम्स, नो द ईयर्स, अभी कोई डाउट नहीं है. होल्ड बैक. You missed it, you can go back and check afterwards from the notes. Okay, keep pace with me right now. We have a type of a species called as Neanderthal man. And Neanderthal man के lineage से now things start becoming different. So we say the modern human being, which we called as the Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens. Okay, these emerged around 3 to 2 lakh years ago. They emerged around 3 to 2 lakh years ago. So I said the closest to the modern man is the Neanderthal man. And Neanderthal man is time mein hai, and the modern man emerges here. Now there is one theory that says, and people are accepting it, that these life forms probably existed together. So if I look at the lineage now, this is approximately say 4 to 3 lakh years ago, and from here we have the Neanderthal man. Okay, somewhere around 2 lakh years ago, it branches out towards the Homo sapiens. ये branch out हुआ around 3 to 2 lakh years ago, and from the Neanderthal man we had one more branch. They are called as Denisovians. ये भी न्यूज में रहा, पूछा भी है प्रीलिम्स में. The Denisovian man. This is the Neanderthal man. This is the Neanderthal man. And this is one species called as Denisovians. Denisovians, Homo sapiens, and the Neanderthal man. Okay. Denisovians were discovered as recent as abhi. 2010 में they found in some caves of Siberia, Europe में मिला कहीं पर. And they found just a finger. And they reconstruct the entire life form from the study of genes of the finger they found, which was very different from all the species they had known yet. So know this name, Denisovian man. Okay. Now, it is said that ये तो तीन life forms हैं, they existed together. In fact, they probably also cohabited, as in they would share the same caves, living conditions. They probably also interbred. Okay, that's why there is lot of genes of this in humans, Homo sapiens also. So, ये three life forms, I repeat, Homo sapiens, Denisovians, and Neanderthal man. Okay, there are reasons to believe that they coexisted and they also cohabited. When I say cohabited का मतलब है, they had interbreeding also between them. That's why the species we are now, we are not pure Homo sapiens. We have this gene, we also have this gene. And they cohabited till around 50,000 years ago. Till 50,000 years ago, they have lived together. Okay, and then for some reasons, they got extinct and only this life form survives. Okay, so a point of discussion here is that since 50,000 years ago, the Neanderthal man and the Denisovians have gone extinct. Iska reason kya hai? Lot of theories are there. Apparently, the Homo sapiens, they're more intelligent. They can plan better, logical reasoning better. Although these were physically more stronger, and they must have fought or whatever, and they got killed and they got exterminated. Most of the Neanderthal man, they existed in parts of Europe. They spread from Africa towards Europe, most of them. Yes, so it's about theories here, Rachit. So I don't want to go into all those details, but know these names. What is Homo sapien? What is hominin? What are hominids? How they branch out? How they may have coexisted? How Denisovian man also had some of the genes. Know these names, please, all of you, as a part of evolution of the human species. Okay? So right now, I said, since 50,000 years ago, now we are one species. So go back and check your timelines. Okay, so this is what we have. The gibbons exist, the orang-utans exist, the great apes exist, but hominins ke line mein all have gone extinct. What remains are the Homo sapiens. The remaining life form today are all Homo sapiens. The rest have now gone extinct. Is it okay, all of you? I hope you have the essence of the discussion today. Yes. So when I say 50,000 years ago, now this is post-ice age. Okay. So this is after the ice age. Okay. Ice age 1.5, 2 million years ago. Uske baad, it's not all warm conditions the way we have it today. Okay, now, so that's about the evolution. Now, something about the distribution of human species and their development as the man we exist today. The distribution of human species and the development of the man as we exist today. Okay, now the beginnings of human species as Homo sapien, it was probably from Central and Western Africa. There are both reasons why we say so, though there are debates also. The beginnings of the Homo sapiens, the beginnings of the man we are today, were probably in parts of Central and Western Africa. Why? Because these areas had more of the savanna climate. These areas were more drier, they are more warmer. This idea is called as the savanna theory. It's called as the savanna theory of human species origin. The idea that when the trees are lesser, you climb down from the trees, you become the modern man. So the emergence of man is linked to the development of savanna climate. It's called as the savanna theory of a human species origin. और ये हुआ कहां पर था? Probably in parts of Central and Western Africa. So we have this Central Africa mein, if you know this area called as Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria, uske around, talking about places like Uganda, places like Rwanda, places like Sudan. Okay, this is where the beginnings of human species starts. Lake Victoria, this and probably parts of West Africa. Just know this location. Yes, Kenya, correct. You also have, इसी के पास में आपका Kenya भी है. And this area has the best type of savanna landscape. In fact, in some books, the savanna climate is called as the Sudan type of climate. So if you look at Africa's map, Africa is something like this. Okay, this is Lake Victoria here. These are parts of Western Africa. What we are saying is the origin of human species probably from this part tha, and maybe also from this part. But most agree कि यहीं से हुआ होगा. This region has those countries. यहाँ पर Sudan है, Uganda, Rwanda. This is Kenya on this side. This is where the beginnings happened. Why? Because this area had one of the best developed savanna type of climate. अभी भी ऐसा ही है. This area has one of the best developed savanna type of climate. All fine here? Okay. This was first point. The beginnings was probably from parts of Central and Western Africa around Lake Victoria regions. We start here. The second is the modern social living. The modern social living, the way we live today. When I say modern social living, means there is agriculture, there is social groups, development of tribes and communities. Okay, this started from around 10,000 years ago. It started around 10,000 years ago. And we call this time as the Neolithic Revolution. Iske pehle we had early man. We had the Paleolithic man. The old Stone Age, the new Stone Age. Okay. The Neolithic is the new Stone Age. where the tools are sharper, and the first agriculture and domestication starts. The first agriculture and the first domestication starts. We start cultivating crops, we start keeping dogs, cattle, cats, we start living as a group, okay, in caves with our norms. This is when our social norms develop. Social norms, social values, the do's and don'ts. Oh yes, Devansh, that's an excellent book to read. And I'll recommend all of you. There's a book called as Sapiens by Yuval Harari. Sapiens. You must read this by Yuval Harari. इसके 2-3 किताबें हैं. And in this book he talks about Denisovians also. He's a historian of Israeli origin, modern day thought leader in some ways. इनके एक और है Sapiens. We have books about the future life forms that we can talk about, what our society will be. There's a very good, nice discourse there. Okay, fine, let's move on. So this is the beginnings of the settled life, the social life, the beginnings of norms, do's and don'ts, domestication, agriculture, and so on. Okay, so यहाँ से our life now becomes very different. So if I summarize, tracing the evolution and the development of Homo sapiens, if we trace the evolution and the development of Homo sapiens, we can trace it under two heads. One is the evolution of man as a biological species. Who we are biologically. Biologically, I walk on two legs. Biologically, I can see from my front eyes. Biologically, okay, I'm able to think. My brain in some ways. Biologically, I can hold tools and manipulate tools. Okay. And second is the development of man as a social species in terms of society, in terms of tradition, in terms of our value systems. So man as a biological being and man as a social being. What was that? Mayur is asking me, sir, all teaching will only be in English. Mayur, I believe that's what I have promised all of you. Okay, I will try using some Tamil words beech mein. Okay, I can't go beyond Vanakkam and Sapad. Okay, and Bhojpuri ka ek do gana bata denge aapko. Okay, and my Bhojpuri starts and ends with, okay, हा हा ही हंस देली. ठीक है. So yes, I can. रिंकिया के पापा, उसमें 4-5 हैं. बिकिया के पापा भी हैं, रिंकिया के भी पापा हैं. ठीक है. So I'll try some of that. हाँ, short की ना. ठीक है, fine. So otherwise, the course is in English. Though I have a bad habit of using beach mein Hindi. Okay. Otherwise, you can always reprimand me, tell me, sir, translate. I will translate. I will not translate if it is not worth translating. Okay. So please bear with me. वैसे भी हिंदी में what do you call Homo sapiens? I do not know. Okay. कुछ होगा word. I have no idea. Okay, fine. So evolution and development of human species as biological species and the development as a social being. Okay, these are two different things. As a biological species, we walk on two legs. It's also called as biped locomotion. Biped locomotion as in walking on two legs. And biped locomotion is partly possible because of a shaped spine. You have seen the anatomy of a spine? It is S-shaped. Okay, our vertebra column is something like this. The tailbone, the neck here, and all those groups of bones. I hope most of you have heard this and seen this. Okay. So S-shaped spine helps us walk on two legs and balance ourselves. It's part of the biological evolution. So when man climbs down from trees, I do this. It includes okay, our dental structure, the type of teeth set we have. We have incisors, canines, molars, premolars, and what it does is it helps us in a range of food. We are omnivorous. Okay. S-shaped spine, it helps me balance. Dental structure gives me a range of food. See, if you ask, if talk in terms of physical strength, I think Homo sapiens are among the weakest of the species. We are nothing compared to the strength of a deer, or strength of a cattle, cow, or the power of a dog. We can't run as fast as most species. Then what makes our survival possible? Agar dekha jayega, I could have been hunted down by any other life form. So what is it that resulted in why the human species survives? Some of are these. Walk on two legs, I can hide, I can climb, I can dig, I can burrow, I can eat a range of food. Okay, what I can't eat raw, I can cook. Okay, I can change the taste, the texture, the softness, and I can eat. So I'm not vulnerable to the nature in terms of food. I can harvest and I can also cook my food. Okay, so that's a very important part of human survival, our omnivorous diet. So when I say I'm vegetarian, I'm vegan, I'm say non-vegetarian, that's a social thing. That's a cultural thing. Biologically, I can eat. Biological, to khoon pee jaye. Okay. So and I'm sure you're seeing some of us do it even metaphorically, but we do it. Dental structure. A very important evolution aspect is, we call this as opposable thumb. I think some of you have heard me use this term. Opposable thumb matlab kya hota hai? I've got 5 digits, 5 fingers, okay, and 4 digits, 4 fingers curl like this, and the 5th one turns like this. This thumb is called as opposable thumb. It's not all of them moving in the same direction. One turns like this. So what this does is, it helps me hold tools. Agar ye nahi hota, I can't manipulate tools. So opposable thumb, it helps us hold and manipulate tools. Absolutely, even apes can do it. We know of gorillas and orangutans and chimpanzees. They also can hold tools. Okay? So opposable thumb is an important feature of biological evolution. A very important part is the stereoscopic vision, eyes in the front. As animals evolve, the more evolved ones, eyes samne hoga. Eyes in front, it helps us perceive depth better. I can chase better. Okay. So opposable thumb ke saath mein a stereoscopic vision, essentially eyes set in front. It helps us perceive depth better. Generally, the larger carnivores सारे eyes सामने होते हैं. Most herbivores, they have eyes in the side. Eyes setting कहाँ पर है? That also is a statement on our evolution. Okay, tiger, lion, okay, lions सामने, because that's how they can perceive the depth better. ठीक है? So stereoscopic vision. इसे में add कर लो. Okay, our cranial capacity. Cranial means our brains, the size of the brains, the cranial capacity. So we can think in terms of, if you look at the ratio of the human body weight vis-a-vis the size and weight of brain, man का highest है. The size, the weight of the brain divided by weight of the body. Okay, man may you have the highest ratio, and the next highest comes for dolphins. Dolphins also have pretty nice developed brain system. Okay, yes. So know this. So these are the aspects, I mean, apart from other features of evolution. This helps our evolution, the type of person we are. So this is part of the biological changes of what makes us man. And in terms of social things, our ability to live in groups, our ability to have agriculture and domestication, our ability to use fire. And with this, we started off with the Neolithic revolution approximately 10,000 years ago. So the beginnings of man as a social man, man as an organized in a social living, it begins with agriculture, domestication, and use of fire. Fire was both. Fire was a tool to convert forests into farmland, and fire was also a tool to attack and defend. If I can control fire, the first time a life form is controlling energy at his own will. Okay, others can't manage energy the way man manages energy, fire. The beginnings of man controlling and owning energy. So this process is what leads to the emergence of Homo sapiens as a species. So you'll realize, is sara kuch jo hai, all of this together is a function of four things. All of this is a function of four things. One is, okay, so these are the consequences of the following factors. Ye hua kaise? These are the consequences of the following factors. Number one is, okay, man's evolution and adaptation to changing climate. Man's evolution and adaptation to changing climate, which is, I said, the savanna theory. The savanna theory, and this starts with Homo habilis, Homo ergaster. वहां से शुरू हो रहा है. Man's evolution and adaptation to changing climate. That's one. Number two is, okay, man's social living. Man's social living. Okay, this is man's organizing ability. Social living is part of man's organizing ability. And that's how man has hunted. You hunt in groups. You can corner wildlife. You can farm together. This was a huge strength of man. Okay. A third, a very important change that helps man's evolution is, I said, agriculture. What does agriculture do? Agriculture frees us from dependence on nature for food. We are not vulnerable to कि जब season होगा तब खाएंगे, नहीं होगा तो we will die. The agriculture gives us the freedom from dependence on nature for food and survival. Okay. With agriculture, we become less and less migratory. Why do animals migrate? Okay, whether it is birds or it is fishes or migration by elephants, migration by deers, and you've got a lot of migration. They migrate because of climate, and climate का बहुत important part है food. So if I can cultivate, I can harvest and store now. So man's adaptation to climate in terms of savanna, this was the biological thing that happened to us. Man's social living, we can organize as a group. Agriculture, where we can free ourselves from dependence on nature. And fourth is, I said, fire and the control of energy. Fire and the control of energy. And remember, ये जो social group का one very important thing, which perhaps is the hallmark of man as species, is the development of language. The sign, in fact, that's true for civilizations. The more advanced civilizations are those which had more sophisticated grammar systems, use of numericals, language, literature. They are very important symbols of development and modernization. Language is not just communication. Language is far more than that. Language includes abstract thinking. Language के वजह से you can also start innovations. Language gives you the ability to control things because you can create things in your mind. So some of you have a problem with writing, speaking because your education has been in one language, but you are forced to write on some other language. You learned in vernacular. Exam लिख रहे हो English में, दिक्कत होती है ना आप लोगों को. And invariably, अगर ये problem होगा, if I ask a question, you'll first think in your language and then translate and speak it out. And that's where the hesitation happens. Okay. So language बहुत important है. You take language from somebody, you will stop his thinking itself. You deprive a man of his language, the man cannot think abstraction, reasoning कर ही नहीं सकता. The language is not simply communication. Communication तो all living things do in some way or the other. But the sophistication comes from the type of language, grammar, words, phonetics, sentences. The hallmark of language includes the written languages. The music is one type of language compositions. Okay, so what is the basis of man's evolution in the species that he is set of these four things. When I said his biological evolution, trace it to savanna theory, his social living, languages, and agriculture, and food and fire. Yes, we had one discussion day before yesterday where I said language is a very, very powerful tool in mobilizing people. If you look at culture, culture has different elements. Culture is religion, culture is practices, culture is belief systems, and culture is songs, art, culture is also language. ये सारे elements में the most powerful motivator is language. Okay, people of same religion will bond less, but people of same cultures will bond better. You go to Tamil Nadu, same language. The Hindus, the Muslims, the Christian will bond better than the Muslims of Tamil Nadu and Muslims of UP. The Hindus of Tamil Nadu and the Hindus of UP. They are different in terms of their bondings. Bengal, the Bengali culture, the Gujarati language, the Kashmiri as a language, the Marathi as a language. The language is a very, very powerful aspects of whatever we do. Is it okay, all of you here? So I was discussing, the theme was the origin of man as a species and eventually development of man in terms of the social living being that we are. They have traced that across different phases and elements of human evolution. All good here? Okay, now, there is a concept in geography called as the concept of a human ecology. Some of you have heard these words in other context. Okay, and I'm bringing those discussions in the context of population geography. The concept of human ecology. The concept of human ecology. This idea was given by an American called as Harlem Barrows. Harlem Barrows, and he gave it in the early 20th century. 1920s, 30s की बात कर रहे हैं. Human ecology, okay, by Harlem Barrows. Okay. So what he says is, the question is answering is, what is geography? Some of you understand this question better because you have done geographical thought with me. The others, just listen to this. What is geography has been a very old debate, because in terms of the subject matter of study, what does geography study? Geography studies climate. Geography studies rocks. Geography studies trees and forests. Geography studies industries. Geography studies agriculture. And realize that each of this also has a specialized subject. Industries के लिए हमारे पास economy है. Okay. Climate के लिए we have got meteorology, we have physics. For rocks we have geology. For forestries we have biology, botany. Okay. We have environment sciences. For agriculture we have agriculture sciences. When every subject already has a specialized discipline, then why do I need geography in the first place? Okay. So what is geography has been a very powerful question in the development of geography. And the consensus was, geography is all of this with man. Geography studies earth and how they combine. The alag-alag people have said different things about geography. The beauty of geography is we study ये सारे कैसे linked हैं. The climate impacts rainfall, the rainfall impacts agriculture, the agriculture impacts rural development, the rural development impacts population growth, population's income, that in turn decides political systems. ये जो relationship है, okay, and bringing all of them together is what geography does. Is one example of the debate that we have. So the debate about what is geography, Harlem Barrows says geography is human ecology. Okay. And human ecology का मतलब क्या है? Study of man in relationship to other things on earth, just as in ecology we study the relationship of the components of the planet. What's ecology? What's ecosystem? The study of water, forest, herbivores, carnivores, how they eat, the food web, the food chains. This is what ecosystem is, right? So, like the study of ecosystems, this man said, geography is human ecology, study of man in a relation to the elements and the components of earth. Man and his relationship to land. Man, his relationship to rains. Man, his relationship to forests. Man, his relationship to animals. Man, his relationship to other men. There is society, there's agriculture, there's industries, there's farming. Human ecology is like this. And what I told right now is nothing but human ecology. How does man evolve? Responds to the climate of the earth. How does a man eat? How we manage land and water? How does man live? Social thing, man and man relationship. What tool does he use? The tool called as fire. If you study all of this, essentially you are studying man in relationship to the components of the earth. Am I all of you here? Write down 2 lines. Okay. So the concept of human ecology, the concept of human ecology. Okay, underline this and say, human ecology is the definition of geography. Human ecology is the definition of geography, in terms of studying man, as a part of a larger ecological relationship, with the elements and components of earth, just as ecology and ecosystem studies, earth in terms of its diversity, just as ecology and ecosystem studies earth in terms of its diversity and the relationship between the biotic and abiotic components. I'll explain this to you. Biotic and abiotic components. Let me explain. Now see, we all know there is something called as forest. Okay. How can I study forests? I can study forest in terms of where is it? I can study forest in terms of what it has. I can study forest in terms of the conditions. The forest is in Brazil. The forest has tall trees. The forest has dry conditions or the wet conditions. The forest has wildlife. I am studying the forest in terms of where is it, what does it have in terms of life forms, and what are the conditions in the forests. I can study in terms of how can I use it. The forest as tribal homes, the forest as source of wood, the forest as maybe resources. Okay? There's another way of studying forest in terms of the relationship of the components of the forest. तो इसमें हम पढ़ेंगे how is the tree linked to the water, linked to the mountain, linked to maybe the type of climate, linked to the trees, and how the tree and the water and the mountain, they are linked to the man and how he uses it. So this is studying forest in terms of what it is. This is studying forest in terms of the relationship of what it has. This is called as study of forest as ecosystem. Whenever I use the word ecosystem, the focus is on study of relationships. Delhi city, where is it? Delhi city, what does it have? Delhi city के climate क्या है? And Delhi city, what it does? Or I study Delhi as an ecosystem, the urban ecosystem, how all things are linked to one another. I can study a classroom. Where is it? The classroom, what it has, the classroom, what conditions we have, and how we use it. Or I study the classroom in terms of the relationships between what makes a classroom. The relationship between the student, the teachers, the board, the floor, the electricity, is sub linked to one another. So when I focus on relationship study, I call that as ecosystem approach. Everything can be studied as an ecosystem. Everything can be studied as sum of relationships. Is it okay all of you here? We bata rahe hain that in human ecology, what I am doing is, I am studying the relationships. The geography is the study of relationships between man and his environment. Man in relationship to the climate. Man in relationship to the land. Man in relationship to another people. This is what I am listing under these 4 points. So, human ecology is an approach in how geography should be studied. There are many other definitions of geography, one of which was this. Some of you can recall that geography was also defined as cultural landscape. Yeah, some of you understand that term now. Somebody else said, no, geography is areal differentiation. Somebody else said, no, geography is different from physical and historical studies. ये अलग-अलग definitions हैं. One of which says geography is the study of human ecology. Why am I saying this? When I say geography is study of human ecology, I am studying people, the relationship with the earth. Okay, and that is where population geography comes in. Is it okay all of you here? Okay, so go back here. Go back here. Okay. Geography as, continue, geography as a human ecology. Geography as a human ecology defines the scope of geography, defines the scope of geography as study of man in relation to his environment, that includes the evolution of man, comma, the adaptations of man, the evolution of man, the adaptations of man, comma, how man uses the environmental elements, and how man exists, in relationship to other men in a society. Okay? That is why I am telling you the story of how man evolved. Man's evolution includes biological changes. Man's evolution includes his social living. Man's study includes his agriculture, his domestication acts, the way he organizes himself. This सारा geography का part हो गया. Okay. Now I am reading out a passage from your Majid Hussain textbook. I know आप किताब लाई नहीं हो, no worries there. You just focus on what I am showing you here. So this is the book I am following, Human Geography, 5th edition, Majid Hussain. Chapter number 1. In my book, it is page number 1, so it will be in your book. The first paragraph of the section. Back in your room, I would like you to read this. अपने notes में mention करना. Okay, so it says human geography versus human ecology. And this was a question asked 3 years ago. Write a note on human ecology. Okay, so the concept of human ecology was put forward by an American geographer who had belief in social Darwinism. What do I mean by social Darwinism? Essentially, I am applying Darwin's theory of evolution to man. Okay, Darwin theory is not simply how life forms evolve, it's also about how people and cultures evolve also. Okay, like say, my gods are based on the environment I live in. I live in a desert, my gods are desert gods. I live in areas have heavy rainfall, my god will be a rainfall god. I live in areas where I do fishing, my god will be river or ocean gods. Okay? I'm in a forest, my god is a forest god. So our belief systems also evolve in response to the environment. That's what's called as social Darwinism. Even we survive in terms of struggle and conflicts. Okay, the knowledge we acquire, the skills we acquire is part of adaptations. Okay, so he believes, the American geographers who believe in social Darwinism, H.H. Barrows, who in his presidential address to Association of American Geographers in 1923 declared that human geography is human ecology. Okay, the followers of this school tried to establish an interactive relationship between man and his biotic and abiotic elements of environment. They opined that the struggle for existence must take place. It followed that those who survived were better fit to environment, okay, than their competitors. So human ecology believed in the ecological principles like the food chain, the web model, and all other aspects from biology. So biology bolta hai what's the ecosystem, right? So geography says also man's survival and man's living is like an ecological relationship. Okay, and so on it goes. So what I discussed in terms of man and his evolution, I am studying the idea called as human ecology. And there are scholars who said that geography is human ecology. That's what we ultimately are studying. Is it okay, all of you? Say if you ask me, okay, if I want to define what is UPSC preparation, okay, so some will say UPSC preparation is maybe geography course completion. UPSC preparation is current affairs preparation. UPSC preparation is answer writing. I'll say no, UPSC preparation is, okay, developing skills to analyze how the environment, how people think, and how people take decisions. If you understand this, your preparation for UPSC will change. UPSC preparation is not course completion. Sab Baba samjha rahe hain. It's about developing intellect and understanding how people behave, why they behave, what controls our choices, so that we become good administrators. So many people defined, okay, some of this in different ways. Is it okay, all of you here? Okay, so that is one paragraph. Go back and study this. Now another passage that I would like you all to look up. I know you have not got your books, that's perfectly fine. Write the pages and you can go back and study. So we have this passage, page number 71. Page 71 in my book. In your book, I think wahi page hai more or less. This is chapter 2. The chapter is Evolution and Races of Man. Okay, anybody has this book with you? है किसी के पास? Right now? What page is this in your old edition, new edition? Sixth one. Page 66. Okay, so this is in the new edition, page 66 है. ठीक है? So the section is Evolution of Man. Okay, so very quickly, there is no direct evidence to establish when first man appeared. Okay, and how he was born, whatever happened here. Okay, the whole story starts with tertiary times, around 65 million years ago, beginnings of the Alpine orogeny and so on. Okay, there is this tree here about how life forms evolve. So this is the lesser and the great apes. ये दिखाई दे रहा है आपको ये वाला? Okay, this is in my book, page number 72. Your book, it probably 67. There's one branch here. Okay, it's about the apes here. You can see gibbons. Gibbons are lesser apes. Then gibbons alag ho gaye. Okay, and then we have another one. Okay, pongiids, which includes orangutan, chimpanzee, gorillas. एक और branch है. Okay, it now becomes the hominids. In this, you have a branch called as Australopithecus. Okay, and Australopithecus around 3-4 million years ago, approximately time mein. And from this, you have a Neanderthal man. You can see Neanderthal man here. There is a Neanderthal man. And from the Neanderthal man, एक branch निकल के आता है called as Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens separate out approximately around 3 lakh years. This is 5 lakh years. This is 1 lakh year. Beach mein approximately here. So about 3 lakh years they separate out. Okay, and from the Homo sapiens, you have the Neolithic culture. You have the different type of races and tribes. So study this. You go by the notes I have given you. It must give you some sense of how the branching happened. This is more of anthropology. हमें उतना depth नहीं चाहिए. Know some names, approximate. And in my book, page 73, there is a section that describes the evolution of man. It starts with the final stage of evolution as a separate species of Homo sapiens took place around 500,000 years of the Pleistocene period. Around 50,000 years की बात कर रहे हैं. 1 million, 1.5 million का आधा. Okay. Then we talks about the remote areas. It talks about forests become savanna and steppes. दिख रहा है आपको ये वाला savanna and steppes? It talks about man's, apes, forefathers, terrestrial. There is savanna, grassland, steppes. They become more extensive towards the close of Pleistocene times. And then there's intelligence development and so on. In the previous page, यहाँ पर, it talks about adaptation for walking, okay, for running, thumb opposed to fingers, adoption of erect posture. It talks about stereoscopic vision, intelligence, and so on. The change of habitat from trees brought a change of diet. I said, no, you climb down from mountain, from the trees, you'll become now more and more carnivorous. On the trees, you are herbivorous. This is a quick reading. Okay, this is not something that you must spend too much time on. Your notes are there. You shift towards this as a part of your consolidation. And this kind of work should not take you more than half an hour. Okay, read through and add to your notes very quickly. All good here? So that's the scope for today. Now, before you leave, 3 things. Yeah, all of you online, offline, just give me a few more minutes. Okay, first day hai, so we can leave you earlier. Okay. Okay. Now, 2-3 things. Yeah, listen. For tomorrow, yeah, please give me 2 minutes, please, all of you. For tomorrow, we have a book launch session of a book that I and my friend have written. It is about the preparation for UPSC. Whatever I know, I have put it to, and I believe all of you should go through that and see what you learn. The time we had for that was 12 p.m. till 1 p.m. Okay. I had planned to not have a class and have this. But the change of plan is, the guests I'm inviting, they'll get a bit late. They can only reach us around 1 o'clock. Because of which I thought I will not cancel your class. Okay. So your class goes on, and to accommodate कि हम ढंग से पढ़ाएं, for tomorrow, one small adjustment, we'll start the class at 11:30. Okay. And I'll enter the proper syllabus of growth and distribution of the population. Okay. So you all, now see, I'll keep it open. If they walk in by 1:30, we keep doing the class till 1:30. My priority is the course and the class. The only reason I was not having it is because I thought I'm calling guests, let's not be a chaos. So kal aapka class hai, and I want all of you to be there. Okay. And post class we can spend half an hour with the guests, and I'm bringing some people who have been my teachers. I hope you talk to them and learn from them also. Tomorrow's class is on. That's one. Okay. We'll start at 11:30 a.m. You come late, you join me late. Others, okay, for tomorrow I can allow you. That's one. The second is, yeah, please. The second is, every Friday we have current affairs session. We have it at 2:30 p.m. for 1 hour, where we try to round up the current affairs of the week. Okay? And I would want, बेटा 2 मिनट बैठ जाएंगे आप लोग प्लीज. जब इतना देर वेट करते हो, 2 मिनट में कौन आपको छोड़ के चला जा रहा है? एंड जो छोड़ के जा रहा है, then she does not deserve you. ठीक है? हाँ, so please give me 2 more minutes. I would want all of you to be part of current affairs sessions. It is not compulsory, but I am trying to do something with all these sessions. I've decided from this batch onwards, I'll pick up some people I want to invest more time in. Fact is, 100 के 100 जो आप लोग हो, while you have the ability, you may not have that type of emotional maturity to work for UPSC. आपके ambitions को I respect, but I can't carry you if you are not willing to work with me. ठीक है? So I have to find a way how to pick up some of you I can work with separately, with a separate agenda altogether. So वो हम कैसे निकालेंगे? I will do that from these sessions. We have regular tests. Today class है, कल आपका test है. Current affairs का test हर Saturday होता है. Every Saturday we have a test. Plus, last, I think 2 or 3 weeks, we have had small test called as Quiz Express. We did polity test, economy test, geography test. We have done science and technology, and all of that we have done. उसका एक और टेस्ट बचता है coming Monday. Okay, and not all of you are attempting that, despite requesting you. When I take my decisions, who will work with me at that time, don't show me the democratic values you talk about. I have promised you I'll finish the course. That is my promise deliverable. उसमें मैं कोई भी कमी नहीं छोड़ूंगा. Everything beyond that is my magnanimity. ठीक है? It's my choice. I can allow you, I can throw you out also. So if you're not willing to work, that's your choice. But I will have some basis which is based on these things. And एक और चीज याद रखो, not every study is entertainment and fun. ये आपके साथ प्रॉब्लम ये है कि सर ये वाला टॉपिक ना मजा नहीं आ रहा है. बेटा मजा आने के लिए go for vacation to Indonesia, Bali Island. Go to Bangkok. गो टू लास वेगास, बहुत मजा आएगा आपको। मेरे पास पढ़ाई है, वी हैव एजुकेशन गोइंग ऑन। अगर एजुकेशन में मजा आ रहा है, दैट इज बोनस। अगर नहीं आ रहा है, सो बी इट। नॉट एवरी टीचर विल परफॉर्म लाइक ए परफॉर्मर, but content is always relevant. So it's your choice. I'm alerting you time and again. One of these days I'll start taking calls. So I need to have a method how to pick out who I want to work with. Okay, जो आप बोलते हैं mentorship चाहिए, doubt clear करोगे कि नहीं, all that depends on how much are you willing to walk with me. I have not done this earlier. I was doing this 7-8 years ago when the team was far more manageable in terms of the targets, but I want to start that again. So two things here. One is, I think next Monday, which is 18th, we have a science and technology ka 20 questions test. It doesn't matter whether you have done this topic in the GS or not. I am happy if you are trying. Remember this. I am not looking at academic excellence. I am looking at your consistency. Remember this. मुझे पता है आपने पढ़ा नहीं है, but are you apply your brains or not? Current affairs and consistency. Okay. I don't care about can run fast or not. Can you wake up with me every day at 4 p.m. and run with me or not? So my first criteria for selection is consistency. And I'll measure this in terms of your attendance, some of this quiz, some of the post-class engagements, your synopsis writing. From this, I'll pick up, okay, who I want to work with. Is it okay, all of you here? So unless you have a class to attend, some other important, say, appointment you must attend to, I understand that. But you can't hold me responsible for discriminating in that case baad mein. I have to have my methods. I don't know how important your examinations for you. For me, ye bahut important hai. It's a matter of my company's future. It's a matter of the career of people who are working with me. I have to develop Edukemy as an institution of credibility. Uske liye mujhe results nikalne padenge. It's a must for me. And I can only do that if I work beyond the regular class timings. So nikalne ke liye I'll do all of this. So your choice. Ultimately, it's a very old saying, no? You are the sum total of choices you make. Okay. हर बार लाइफ में ना आपको कुछ ना कुछ ऑप्शन मिलेगा. यहां पर अगेन कुछ ऑप्शन मिलेगा, यहां पर अगेन कुछ ऑप्शन मिलेगा. Whether you become this or this is all about what path you chose for yourself. Okay, and इसमें right wrong होता नहीं है. Okay, that's your choice. I have a way of working here. So now I am making it a bit more structured. I have experimented this for almost 6, 7, 8 months now. Okay, I have a platform which can evaluate your performance a bit more sincerely. So please be part of that. And when I do the discrimination, it is not to demoralize the others, but to encourage those who are working. That's the whole idea. Okay? So one I said tomorrow's class is at 11:30. We'll start at that. The second thing is current affairs classes chal raha hai 2:30. Be a part of that. And tomorrow give your test of current affairs. Okay. And third is on Monday you'll have a science and technology ka test. Prepare whatever you can. And on the Telegram channel, we'll post the syllabus of your Monday test. 20 questions. अगर तुक्का भी मारोगे 5 राइट हो जाएगा आपका. It doesn't matter. आपने पढ़ा है, नहीं पढ़ा है, कोर्स किया है, नहीं किया है. You come and attend it. I am more concerned about your consistency. All good? Chalo, good, bad, ugly. That's how it is. Life is not fair. We accept it. Okay. See you all tomorrow, 11:30. Bye. Uh, Today was your first class for some of you. The synopsis work, not today. I'm believing you'll take on. Maybe a couple of classes from now, we'll start off synopsis post class. So today's session is current affairs, so I cannot do both of them together. Okay, so we'll start off dhire dhire all the sessions. Yeah, Shreya. I believe online students, you will have a separate link for current affairs. Go on the dashboard and click that. Offline students, the current affairs class I think hoti hai first floor mein hoti hai. You can go there and join the session there. A very nice person, that's nice. Oh, we'll do that, don't worry, we'll do that. Yes, batao.